Welcome back, my heroes. The smaller the burner, the bigger the problem. Why is it like that? Especially when there's oil. You got a lot of more parts involved. A Beckett, a Garland, those be the ones. But in this case, I don't know why it can't see the flame. Why? Starring Lamar Brandon Camel. Can I see what's going on? Maybe I can, maybe I won't. But just know I will try, because we're the boiler heroes.
Boiler?
Wanna help?
Huh?
Wanna help?
No, I'm the boiler man.
Oh, you gotta go inside? Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't.
I hope it. That's what I'm saying.
Alright.
They called it in. Said that the boiler or the burner keeps going into safety. They keep resetting it. So I'm gonna go and see if I see what I see. I don't know. Never been here before. As you can see, I don't even know where the boiler room is at. There goes the petrometer. There goes the tank. It's number 2 oil. So it gotta be a Carlin or a Beckett, something babyish. A baby burner. Small building. Where's the light? Gotta find the light switch. Well, I got a good
No light switch?
flashlight. I don't know about the charge though. Sometimes I don't be charging it. Looking behind the door, it's not there.
I can't imagine
Whatever.
there being no light here.
Let's see what's up.
So now,
So right now the boiler's running.
problem.
So obviously this is going to be the difficult part, because we don't really know why it's going into safety. We're going to do our typical turn the boiler off and on
Resetting
until
it.
the safety happens.
Gotta be a light here somewhere.
And I was always taught for the
There
baby,
you go.
there goes the light. For the baby burners like this, always change the filter
Resetting it.
and the strainer.
We're gonna go with the normal
So
filter,
we'll see if it's dirty.
strainer. It could be the transformer, the big ass transformer. I'll go with filter strainer. Look at the gloves and stuff.
So I went to my truck. I got me a filter, got me a new strainer. I'm gonna open up the ones that's there and see how they look. To be honest, if I pull the strainer and it looks clean, I'm gonna leave it. If I pull the filter and it looks clean, I'm gonna leave it. I'm trying to see why the boiler doesn't want to stay running, because if they have to press the reset, then the thing gotta be going into safety. That's an old heat timer right there. Old heat control, rather. Want to put it in bypass. Right now it's shut off on its own.
Trying to see if I can see it. Can't see it.
I'm going to let the burner run a couple times to see if it goes into safety. If not, then we'll start messing with the strainer and the oil filter. Got the gloves on, so you know we about to get on our doctor shit.
Now let's just do our filter and strainer and see what's up.
So I'm going to go with the oil strainer first. And that's like an Allen key to take that. 4 of them, 4 Allen keys. So we'll do that first and see if that thing is dirty. Almost fell out of my hands. This is usually hand
Spark
tight.
sounded kind of
You don't really
strong.
need to crank on it
I
too
don't think it's
much.
the
Might crack the
foam. If this
gasket.
thing is
Sometimes it
dirty,
happens like
it'll
that.
make me happy. And then we know it's this. Oh, it ain't dirty.
It definitely doesn't look dirty to me. So I don't know if the
This is all
strain
brand new.
is actually the
It's all
problem.
new. It's all good.
So I'm gonna put it back. Usually I would be concerned with the gasket,
This
but in
gasket's
this
still
case,
good
that
too.
gasket looks pretty good. So I'm gonna
Is it?
use the same one. It doesn't look cracked. I'm gonna put it back, and if it was a leak, it would leak immediately, so I would know. So I'm gonna put it back carefully and just not waste the
Somebody could
filter.
have left
I
me
mean, not waste
a
the strain
rag,
out
right?
here.
Yep, there you go. Next would be the filter. See how that filter looking, which I don't think it's dirty. I don't
So I'm
think
gonna
it's
take the
dirty.
filter apart, but since the strainer was clean, I'm assuming the filter's clean too. So if those things are clean, then we gotta start thinking some other things besides the oil. These strainers are cool. It's a 5/8 ratchet. And look, it doesn't look dirty. Normally it'll be a whole bunch of like gook on top of it, but it's not. It's just dark.
Kind of dirty.
But that oil is dark, so
Not really.
I don't know if that
Dirty.
represents dirt. We ain't always gonna
Go
get
with
that
that
pink,
transformer.
oil. That tank probably dirty. That's what it is. The tank probably dirty.
Yeah.
But in this case, that strainer, I mean, that oil filter looks alright. I'm gonna put it back. I'm not gonna mess with that. Then I'm gonna start focusing on the burner, seeing why the burner is maybe going into
Everything
safety.
seems to be
Check
okay.
that CAD cell. I even thought of the transformer a couple times, but I'm like, it fires, and I hear a good spark, so I
We'll run it
can't really
again real
think
quick.
about the
You might have to
transformer.
bleed it, hopefully not.
And then there's a gauge there, and
Let's
I'm
just see what
getting
it
the
does.
pressure I need from the pump, so it can't be the pump. So I'm gonna start it a couple times and see what happens. Look, it fires.
Making sure we're not leaking nowhere.
I'm just hoping it goes into safety in front of me. I had to make sure it wasn't leaking from the strainer. Make sure that gasket holding.
Reset it, see it start again.
So I turned it off and turned it back on to see what happens. Did it again. Turned it off, turned it back on. I'm pretty much creating the cycle. I wanted to check the last safeties, but it's not really like a too much of an informational relay. It gives you a couple things, but it'll say like ignition or
Definitely got
whatever, main
oil.
flame. I decided to check the oil level to see if they had oil, make sure that that wasn't the problem. Sometimes they'll have low oil and they'll go into safety, but they have an amazing amount of oil, so I'm not concerned about the oil. So I'm just waiting for the thing to show, like, to go into safety in front of me or something. Let me reset it, see what happens.
Keep resetting it until we see the problem happens.
So now it's just a waiting game. Because if they say that it went into safety, it should happen again.
Check the CAD cell real quick, make sure it's clean.
Check the CAD cell. Check the electrodes, make sure everything looks good there. I'm checking the CAD cell. The CAD cell looks a little dirty and whatnot. Wipe it down a little bit.
I don't even think I have another one.
It looks a little dirty. They marked it to make it less sensitive, I guess.
Truck.
So I went to my truck and I found one, but it wasn't brand new. It was an old one. It wasn't even the whole CAD cell with the base. It was just the CAD cell itself. So I'm gonna plug that in
Let's see what
and
it
see what
does.
happens. It hasn't been into safety yet, but you know, the CAD cell that I found in there was kind of dirty. Maybe it wasn't seeing it. I'm not too sure. But I'm gonna just throw that in there and see what happens. Put everything back together. Let's start it up. All right, it's lit. The flame came on. Okay, just wait it out a little bit. Oh, it went into
There it
safety.
goes. What was that about?
Okay, we'll reset it and see what it do again. This is the first time it went into safety in front of us, so I'm bugging like, all right, but boom, it lit. The flame looks good, so the pressure, the oil, all that is good. So I'm like, all right, the only thing we did was add a new CAD cell, but not the whole CAD cell, but just, just the CAD cell. Oh, look at that, another safety. Went into safety again.
Seeing it.
So now I'm like, all right, I'm not sure if the CAD cell is the problem, but I do know that's the only thing we tampered with.
Screwdriver.
So I got a brand new CAD cell with me, a brand new one. I had to dig in the truck to find it, and I did. I gotta remind myself to go pick up another one at HMB. But I got a brand new one with me, so now we're gonna fully install a brand new one, not just change the little head CAD cell.
Not even
We're gonna install it from the beginning. I wanted to run real quick to see if it goes into safety, but I'm like, you know what, let's just do it. But the thing is, the flame looks good. The only problem right now is like the flame is not being seen. So I don't know if I'm having like an air pocket, but the flame to me looks good and it runs for a little bit. So it's normally, to me, that's the time frame of when it goes out, when the CAD cell doesn't see the flame. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just change the CAD cell completely. I removed the relay from its 1900 box. The CAD cell has two terminals behind the relay. They normally fish it through this little, tubing, whatnot, but whatever. I'm gonna remove it. Remove the CAD cell from the burner. That's the old one, that's the new one. Bright yellow. I'm gonna fish it into the little hole that's there. This ain't easy, by the way. It's really like difficult because you have to give it a decent bend and whatnot. For all I know, the wire was bad, and maybe it was seeing it here and there. So the best thing I could do, like my boss Jimmy would say, change something, do something, make some kind of difference to see if something changes. So if I install this, right now it was going into safety every time. So if I install this and it doesn't go into safety, then I know we made a difference and I can walk away and see what happens. And that'll be it.
The time delay wasn't even timed in.
I'm trying to get that little
wired in
piece of wire through. There you go. We got it. We got it. Started struggling, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put it through here. As long as we got it in secured and it's not like the wire is pulling out, because sometimes the wires get jammed up in the fan blade. So you got to be careful with that. Don't let it get jammed up in the fan blade.
No screws, but there's
little tiny screws. I ain't gonna lie, these little jobs like this be killing my
I put
hands
the little
trying to
cat cell
squeeze
in
it
and
in.
fire right up.
So look, boom,
It didn't do that
the boiler
ignition bullshit
fired.
that it did before. We're gonna try it one more time.
Now we're gonna turn it off and turn it back on. After we change that gas cell, now the boiler's firing the way we want to. So we can just walk away and see what happens from here. Pack it up while we keep trying to boil up on and off. Boom, the boiler fired again. We're gonna try it again, reset, and let it fire
I
again.
think that's the way the cookie crumbles. We're good to go.
I tried and I looked at every single piece of this burner to see what could possibly be the problem. The only thing it led me to was the cat cell, so we're just gonna have to wait and see if it comes back in. If it doesn't, then you know we got it. Oh, my heroes. Sometimes they say you gotta guess, but I don't guess. I do what you call a hypothesis, an educated guess. I look at all the facts. I check the oil strainer. I check the oil filter. I check the electrodes. I even check the cat cell, and the cat cell to me seemed like it was the problem. But if it wasn't, maybe it's the relay, but that's expensive. Until next time, my heroes, just remember to check everything. Who told you? I told you, the boiler heroes.